Welcome to Navarrero's online video. I wasn't really expecting to be making another one of these today. I thought I was done for the year, and while I'm aware that these might not be the most entertaining videos to watch, I think they are quite important. And today we are getting into what I think might be the biggest issue with the game overall. And this is all thanks to something that happened on the official Discord server recently. So I'll be taking that as a jumping off point to getting into something that I think really should be talked about, and I kinda put it by the wayside for far too long. What I think is the largest issue for the game as a whole is a lack of foresight, a lack of planning, not thinking things through, and not making sure to have a long term plan for the stuff that's put into the game, because a lot of it just doesn't make much sense. So, yeah, what happened on the Discord recently? Well, it was certainly something that made me think the fuck they doing over there. And it's been the moderators adding a new channel, which is looking for group channels. So that's overall a pretty good idea in my opinion. However, the problem is how they put this out. So it's nice to have a way to find other people to play with. However, in order to have a valid post that would not get removed, you needed to adhere to the following format, including the server name, in order to, of course, find the server, passwords in order to join the server region, because otherwise the server might not even be in the list, and also other relevant information so that people know what kind of playthrough you are looking for and how you want to handle things. Maybe also include the industry layout if it's different from the default. However, I think people may have already caught on what's really wrong with this. The official Railroads online server likely has a few thousand people on it. The looking for group channel is of course public in that server, and you were supposed to give everybody all your login information in order to join your server because, well, that's a good idea apparently. Can absolutely not lead to a lot of griefing and that kind of thing, and well, this was thankfully pointed out by community members within 5 minutes or so. So this was changed, and now it says that you should only be sharing the passwords privately in order to have a bit of influence on who you are getting onto the server to begin with. I mean, after all, the game doesn't even have an in-game text chat, and there is no real admin tools for anybody hosting the server to kick people out or something like that. You would likely just need to make a copy of your save, shut everything down, and then see what kind of damage was done if you notice a griefer being on there. So that's all far from ideal. And yeah, I honestly don't know how they could have missed this, why this wasn't really mentioned by anybody that it would be a bad idea to put this out this way beforehand. So the head moderator on the Discord, who is also on Reddit and the Steam forums, Goku over 9000, ended up posting this, and honestly, I get him. After all of this happened, he said something like, "It's something for sure. I regret doing anything for the server." And I mean, it absolutely does not feel great coming up with an idea, putting that out there, putting your heart and effort in there, and then people just shitting all over that. Always think about the people behind the decisions because they might be dealing with a lot, and Railroads Online has gotten a lot of flack, and I know that's not nice for the people in charge to deal with. However, I also have to say about this whole thing, I mean, you don't really need to say anything here. It's just he should have maybe talked that through with another person and gotten into detail of what exactly he wanted to post. I think it should been sorted out beforehand. But this is something that I encounter over and over and over again. And partially it also has to do with just how they are moderating everything because it's very strict, very tight, and I saw the same person who pointed out that this was a bad idea, talking on another Discord server where the devs and moderators are not present, that they thought for sure they would be getting banned for that because it's open criticism. Thankfully they didn't, but I think that already gives an idea of how things are perceived there. And yeah, they're keeping a tight lid on both the Discord server and also the Steam forum. Not that the Discord server has any feedback or suggestion threads to begin with, so that's a bit of a miss in my opinion, because most other devs definitely take feedback from the community into account. I don't really like going onto the Steam forums, but I know for sure that they have a tendency to get some criticism, get some discussion, and then immediately when seeing it, putting out a moderator answer and just locking the entire thread so no discussion can happen anymore. And I think that's just really not great. To be fair, with some of the stuff that happened over a year ago, the whole fallout that I think was partially responsible for there now being another dev studio that's making a competitor to Railroads Online, and by that I mean, of course, Century of Steam. A lot of people are still pissed at them with how they handled things back then, and there are still few people out there who just want to get them and just take a dump on the game at every chance, and it's not amazing. But the way it's handled now, it's very hard for people to give criticism and have that accepted. I recently talked about me going on Reddit and answering to somebody who wanted to know if this game could be recommended to them. And yeah, that was also the point where I found out that they were doing the whole Cole rework thing to begin with. And yeah, that post was also made by Goku, telling me that, yeah, he likely should point a few things out here, not to have misinformation going around. And I thought that language, kinda, not necessarily even indirectly calling me out as a liar or my stuff being incorrect or inaccurate, I think he often invites a more competitive discussion than he really should be. There's another thing that happened on the Discord yesterday. They opened back up, or they opened the voice channels back up. And they also just included the announcement for that they would be shutting them back down if they find anybody harassing other people or doing stuff that's not up to the rules. And I think just already threatening punishment on the entire community if somebody steps out of line is a bit, might not be necessarily completely uncalled for from what I said a moment ago, but again, it's just, it's not working with each other, it's going against each other, and you are getting into much more difficult arguments if you are handling things that way. But yeah, this is one of the points about the moderation that I ignored and tried not to talk about for a while. But I think at this point I kind of had it with a few other things I've done, and I thought it was worth talking about this in particular. So now let's get into the more game-related things. First up, I have to say, I have a certain amount of admiration for Kuma. And that's because, well, the guy basically wanted to have a train game. I don't know if he really wanted to get into developing one, but he wanted to have one. And there wasn't anything out there that was the way he liked it. So he went ahead and tried making one himself. And I think that's pretty commendable. I know he isn't the most skilled developer, the best coder or anything, but I think just the idea in general is something that's pretty good. And also, if he worked more with other people, he could have likely have a few things improved. But then again, well, there was that whole incident that pushed out a few other people that are now making another game. And also other people came forward and already offered him the full code to make tunnels with and that kind of stuff, and he just completely pushed that aside. So on one hand, yeah, pretty good idea, pretty great of him to put himself out there and start working on something like this, but the things that he's done since then, the way he handled a few things, have been far from ideal, and the whole balancing thing with recent additions is another one of those. So let's quickly talk about the coal rebalancing, because of the last patch, which also came out yesterday, They included the following near the bottom. I'll be linking that in the description as well. Engines will now have more coal in the tenders, resulting in longer times before refueling. Low setting still feels the best for a casual playstyle. In my opinion, for a casual playstyle it doesn't matter what you're choosing from these options, because none of them really do anything. They are just orders of magnitude way too high with how long you can run the engines to make any significant difference. And now they are walking it back. What the hell? If you watched my last video on the coal rebalancing that I would be doing, you'd know that I would bring down a lot of engines into single digits and not have it from 50 up to 300 hours. And single digit hours, I mean. It's weird. I don't get it, and this is something that really has me too concerned if they are ever going to put this into a version that's gonna be significant and really have an impact on the gameplay. Also, another thing, cut off simulation. I don't think I talked about this yet, but the same thing that we got with the latest update was actually included with an update over a year ago. There's a devlog that I'll also be linking in the description from the 1st of August last year, where they put out the exact same thing, so it all was pretty much the same. And they got so much backlash on that they just completely removed it, and now it's back and it doesn't seem to be changed in any way. So what the hell is going on here? Plus also, of course, when you want to talk about balancing and putting things in with an eye for how it should be working long term, sugarcane cars, do I need to say more? It's all sadly quite the mess, and this whole thing and the other stuff that's happening with the game, I don't really know if they can ever sort this out. That whole issue about some of the programming stuff, I mean, that's already being addressed with Black Sheep Studio. I'm really looking forward to what they are putting out there. I think the next few updates are gonna be more of the stuff that they are doing, and I hope it's getting better on that front. But I don't know how you would remedy having people who seemingly have very little idea on what they want to do, both on the server and also not even thinking through stuff like maybe not encouraging password sharing on the public Discord. Yeah, again, obviously the people behind the post, and I don't necessarily want to shit on them, so I think it's better to stop it right here. I think I hopefully got my point across. And with that being said, well, thanks for watching. Hope you have a nice holiday, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and that kind of stuff. And see you next year. And I hope things improve. I hope they learn from this. But again, right now, it's a pattern, and I would hope to not see it continue. Would definitely be for the better of the game. But again, I'm starting to ramble. I think I got my point across, and therefore I shall be ending the video now. So thanks for watching. Have a good one. Bye bye.